Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Big Al's above ground pool tips. This is going to be my first video showing you all the hacks and easy ways to maintain your above ground pool. As you can see behind me, I just recently installed this pool. Being a residential home builder for many years, I had the skills and desire to do it. I'm doing a whole series on installing your above ground pool, but today we're going to talk about replacing your factory corrugated return and supply hoses with flexible PVC piping. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to show you first off how we deal with the skimmer and the return. Okay, with the skimmer, what we're going to do is just remove the cover, remove the basket, and plug the bottom of it after the pump is off with this little rubber ball. And yes, I do need to clean my skimmer sock. I love those guys. They save a lot of work on cleaning out my cartridge filter. I only have to clean that maybe once every couple of months, and I check my skimmer sock daily. Over here on the inlet, and this is Allie, by the way, she likes to help. On the inlet, I'm going to take this fountain off, which cools my water down, because I'm here in North Georgia and it's about 88 degrees right now. So if it gets any hotter, that will be running. You remove this assembly, and you had to remove this anyway to install the fountain, but these are 3 pieces here. If you look inside, there's 2 keyed areas. That's protruding outward. You can get some needle nose pliers, spread them apart, and just rotate and remove that device. And then Hayward sells this little item. You can buy it for your return, and that's how you plug it up. Once you do those 2 things and turn your pump off, we can move into the garage and build these fittings up. So here we are underneath my deck, and these are the 2 factory corrugated hoses that came with my system. I've had them now for about 4 or 5 months. I'm going to leave the gate valves down here going into the pump inlet. And up here, of course, I'm not going to add a ball valve or a gate valve, just a union fitting, because it's just one less thing that's going to leak. And if I ever need to disconnect this system, then I'll just go back with the ball in the skimmer and then the plug for my inlet. But this is how it looks now. And we're going to get measurements, and we're going to move into the garage, and then I'm going to show you how to make up these fittings. Okay folks, Big Al's above ground pool tips. We are in the garage, getting ready to make up our connections. Let me show you first about the pipe I have. 1.5 inch flexible PVC piping. You want the piping. I think the tubing is a little different, maybe not as thick a diameter. This is good stuff. You can cut it with a hacksaw. I actually cut mine with a bandsaw. But first I measured, and this is the longest of my 2 pipes. So in case I screw this one up, I can make it for my shorter section. So just cover myself here. Take some tape, and I just wrap it around in a circle. If it overlaps perfectly on the other side, then you can be pretty sure you're 90 degrees to this tubing, which is important, because when these assemblies go together, I'm hearing that you do not twist it. You push it straight in, hold it for about 5 seconds, and let it sit for 10 minutes. All right, my fittings are right here. They are number 4 union assembly, 1.5 inch S, which stands for slip, by 1.5 inch MPT. It's item number 400-4030B. This is your slip fitting, which is going to get the primer and the glue. And then this is your MPT fitting, which is going to thread in to my existing gate valve. So when I get ready to disassemble it, they'll separate out like this. So you can take the whole thing inside. Let me tell you, when I got these guys, I looked them over thoroughly, and looked like they'd been tossed around in a toolbox for a while, but they were still new. But this surface right here was scratched and pitted. So I just used some 400 grit sandpaper on the level sanding block, and I just smoothed it out till it was completely flush. On the O-ring side, I used some Magic Lube silicone grease, just lightly coated the O-ring. This will make it easier to disassemble. It'll add some life to the O-ring, and it just gives you a good seal when you bring these two pieces together. On the threaded side, you're going to need some pipe thread sealant that's recommended for plastic, and then some silicone tape. I usually give this about 6 wraps. Some guys I see go 10 or 15. I usually do about 6 to 10, and then a liberal supply of your pipe sealant. Alrighty, let's just make up some connections now, shall we? All right, so here we go. So having a long career in healthcare, I like to keep things clean. So I actually clean around here with just Windex with ammonia and wipe it off really good. Make sure I got a nice clean surface. Next thing I do is I can slide this down out of my way. And this is what we're gonna glue up right here. Easy, easy, okay? First thing we're gonna do, primer, make sure you go all the way around. Some people miss the bottom. Do your fitting, all the way around. You wanna do it while it's still wet. Go all the way around with your glue. You may get a little sloppy. Again, make sure you get the bottom. That's critical because you'll have a leak if you don't get that bottom. All right. Here we go. Push it straight on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. New world record. I think I got the gold. All right, folks, that's it. You're good to go. Wait 10 minutes and then we'll show you how to hook it up. I'm gonna go ahead and prep these threaded fittings while I'm in the garage. Just remember, when you're wrapping them with tape, you want to do it clockwise because that's the way you're going to be turning it, right? So I'll start right here, right at the edge, go around it. All right, then I got it started. I'll just go around it, and usually 6 to 10 times, but I'll tell you what, a lot of people just look at the threads, and when they kind of start disappearing, you kind of know you've wrapped it enough. Go all the way to the base, all the way to the base with it. So I'm coming right back up because these threads are still showing a little bit. I probably have done it 10, maybe 15 times, and that's it. When I get to the site down there by the pool, I'll apply this to it liberally and use some big old channel locks and gently screw it into my existing gate valve and make that connection. Okay, everybody, I am back in the garage. We got a little modification that we have to make. I have a saline pool with a saltwater generator, and this is a configuration that came from the manufacturer. This screws up onto the cell, and this is where that black corrugated hose attaches to right here, okay? Well, if you look right here, it looks like you can just unscrew this assembly right here and then thread in your adapter for your connection. Well, if you look down inside, you can actually see the glue joint all the way around there. It's just shiny, looks like clear paint or something like that. So anyway, this won't come apart. This is history. So the manufacturer sends you some extra pieces, or at least I hope they will. This goes in like this, okay? Then they send you a reducer coupler. That goes in like that. Then you got a piece of PVC. I just bought a stick, 1.5 inch PVC, schedule 40. Cut it. That's gonna glue in right there. And then you get you 1.5 inch female threaded slip adapter like this. Threaded, 1.5 inch slip adapter on that end. You glue that up. That's your assembly that goes up to your chlorine generator. Then this barely threads in there. Bada boom, bada bing, you're good to go. So you're gonna run into these issues, but hopefully I've addressed 90% of them. So it's back to the pool and it's hot. See ya. All right, everybody, we are all hooked up and we are running. This has been a huge improvement. Pretty straightforward, except for that little coupling right there that I showed you. But everything's working well, no leaks. And let me tell you how I can tell this is much more efficient. Let me get squeeze out of here. If you look right there, I have that valve open completely, the diverter valve. Yeah, Ellie, that's the one. The diverter valve for the waterfall is completely open, and the force is so much greater now. It's pushing the water out of that fountain. That's how much better the flow is. So there's proof right there in the pudding, guys, and let me tell you, it was not a hard project. Let me tell you what else I did too. On my filter, there just used to be a drain plug right there. Well, I added this dump valve because if you ever go to change your filter, when you open it up, the water is dirty on the back side of the filter. So I like to drain all that dirty water out and then put my new filter in. So this way I can connect a pipe to it and run it out way out here into the woods. So anyway, that's it for today. Subscribe for more videos because we're going to build a pool next time. Thanks.